not that I'm reaching across like 20 servers to get to you guys.
So it was. I think that was my. The problem was my end. My internet decided it was going to conk out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like everyone on my screen had paused for the briefest of moments.
Oh,
Like,
but
unfortunately, you all had very odd expressions. So,
You were the best.
we were oddly posed, yeah.
Right.
Sure, right.
Yeah.
Hey, from my point of view, it looked like Ross was engaging in an act of self-gratification. So, I'm not gonna... Anyway, welcome. Hopefully, there's no
Always.
more technical issues, but yes, the whole room in Quark suddenly goes black. So we just
Probably because of what I was doing to myself.
It's all selective memory loss right now. We're all forgetting that this happened.
So, Chris, Devon just asked the captain something.
Okay, I guess to repeat that because you all paused just after I told you the fleet had disappeared.
So Davrin turned for Captain. He said, "Captain, what do they all know that we don't?"
I have no idea. I've not long been back myself. This is unusual. Very. I had no knowledge of any fleet actions in basically my area, for want of a better term, and it's generally considered a common courtesy that if an operation is going on in somewhere where a captain is stationed, you let them know. I don't know what was going on.
In Tira's mind, the word "another threat" echoes again.
Right, so I'm heading to ops. Tira, can you grab hold of Todek and bring him along? He's got probably one of the best working brains on this station.
Tolek?
Tolek is nodding forks.
Yes. No? That's why he said. That's why he said.
Where were you?
That's why the
We
captain.
don't know.
Yeah, to be fair, Tira is drunk, so...
Yeah.
Did it?
It's like, look, you mistaken
Tira
another
to
Vulcan.
Tolek.
Tolek here.
Where is your logical ass right now?
I would assume that it is attached to my body.
Vulcans.
Good to know. And where's your body?
In my laboratory.
Which is on the Damocles, basically.
Yes.
Could you please... But are we meeting, Captain?
Ops.
Yeah, we're basically meeting
Could
ops
you-
because the captain is not happy.
Could you
about
come,
it.
please? Could you come, please, to the ops of DS9?
Immediately. Tolek out.
Okay. There's a short delay, probably about sort of 10
Did
minutes. And
Tira to Tolek.
Hmm?
Thank you, Tolek. Tira out.
it's like, even though the Quark who's behind the bar just gives you, it's like, what are you doing? Look, it's just like, fine, she's paid for her drinks, I don't care. But it's not long before you all arrive in ops. And you can see that basically Captain Pro is in a rather heated discussion with an admiral that Davrin immediately recognises.
Is it my favourite?
It is her. It is the...
And I am her favourite, obviously.
Oh, yes. And
Hey, Devon, look who's there.
and
Thank you, Tira.
as Davrin arrives in the turbo lift, it's like, you in here? I see your newest officer has arrived. And so you always get a look, and the captain's going, fuck's sake, it's Irv again. I can hear you, Captain Pro, over the conversation. Anyway, you're distracting me. Why the flip was I not informed of this fleet being sent through Deep Space Nine and into the Gamma Quadrant? And in the usual calm, almost aggravating way that a Vulcan admiral can be. So, this information was on a need-to-know basis, Captain. You did not need to know.
Apparently everybody else in the fleet did.
And besides, I believe you were otherwise engaged in another matter, were you not? And she's just looking around the ops room. It's like definitely giving a sort of almost like the Vulcan equivalent of a squinty-eyed look at Davrin. It's like she knows you weren't on vacation. but she doesn't know where or what you are up to, and it's aggravating her. It's you're probably one of the few people in Starfleet that can actually make a particular Vulcan angry, and
it's an achievement I treasure.
it's a talent. It's certainly got your name around at Starfleet. This is one of the few times they've actually seen this particular admiral and even for Vulcan, still calm. But anybody who knows them knows that when they act in a certain way, they're angry and they're pissed. And
Well, if she's fishing for information, she is unfortunately disappointed. Davin just smiles and says, "Yes, it was very pleasant, thank you."
okay, I'm gonna get you to make the first roll of the evening to see if you can bullshit your way through this. I'm gonna say this is gonna be I'm gonna say command and reason on this one.
One reason,
Yes.
complication range 2.
No, complication range just the 1 for this one.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So here we
Yeah,
go.
it should be default for 1.
Yeah, mine was on 2 for whatever reason.
Mm.
So we get
Strange.
momentum.
There we go. Yeah, and she kind of like gives the look that on a human would be. I know you're not telling me the whole truth, but right now I've got more important things to deal with. And at this point, this will be, I would imagine, when Tonic and Tira would arrive in ops as well. It's like, at least there's one more logical mind on that station of yours, Captain.
Thank you, Admiral.
Davin actually does snort.
There's a couple of people walking around who work in the ops as well, and that you see them go. Even Captain Pro just is like. It's sort of below the view screen. He gives you a sort of thumbs up as if to say, "Nice." And Tonic, you notice it. There's a very slight twitch in her right eye.
I think you're going to join me in
very slight twitch.
in the very
This
elite group.
is something non-Vulcans would not notice, but you notice it straight. You don't even have to roll for this. This is a definite. She's struggling to control her emotions.
Oh yeah.
As I was saying, Captain, this information is on a need-to-know basis, and right now, you do not need to know what this fleet is up to. There is no further discussion on this matter. And she just leans forward, beep, and ends the communication. The screen goes blank, and you just see the usual, space image that would replace there. In the distance on the view screen, you can actually see the wormhole open as the last of the few ships go through.
She seemed irked.
Yes, that's putting it mildly. This is unusual. To say this is very unusual.
Only one possible reason that comes to my mind why Starfleet would send a small fleet into the Delta Quadrant.
I have my suspicions, but let's hear what you got to say, Tira.
They were engaging someone, probably helping the Dominion in a battle against the Bendrazi.
Yes, that actually does make sense. However, we are literally one of the most advanced ships in the fleet, especially with our enhancements that we've had over the last year or so.
With the most practical experience of Bendrazi, no less.
Precisely. Why we have not been sent out, in effect, spearheading this fleet is a mystery. They could have quite easily waited until we got back. Why did they go through now?
Potentially, they did not want to present our capabilities to the Bendrazi if it was unnecessary.
Or because of him, I point at Tolek. Because of him, I point at Davin, and because of me, or more exactly, our faces.
Ah, yes, your doppelgangers, for want of a better term.
Maybe they don't trust that we are not for doppelgangers.
Either way, This is not sitting well. This is not sitting well with me at all. Well, it's going to be a few hours before we get our next orders. Be back here. It looks at the time. It's basically about sort of 9 o'clock in the morning, DS9 time. Meet back here at 1100 hours, DS9 time. I'll try and see if I can get some answers by then. So, this is going to be a very brief sort of thing. What you guys doing? Don't need to roll, just to sort of explain what you could be doing for the next couple of hours to sort of.
Getting some breakfast after all that night-long drinking.
What you getting for your breakfast? Actually, you know what? Because you've been night-long drinking, I'm going to ask you to make a security.
You said that we have 9 a.m. in the morning. I don't suppose we are starting this early with the drinking.
You reminded me that you've been drinking quite a bit. So I'm going to say, I'm going to actually get you to roll a security and fitness roll, please. And if you get a complication, you've got a hangover. You do not have a hangover. In fact, your system's actually pretty... No,
quick metabolism.
Exactly, yeah. You get drunk quickly, but you sober up quickly. Okay. Tonic, what are you up to?
More reading.
Just reading?
Yeah, still working on the information he got last time about the Tarkarian stasis.
I would say, again, make a very
and
quick...
any kind of uses that might have on other species. Doesn't have to be the same, but just anything.
There is an inkling of an idea starting to form in your head that the Tarkarian stasis could be adapted in theory to other species, but it would be very dangerous for them. Very dangerous. It'll be the sort of thing where if someone's close to dying anyway, screw it, you might as well give it a shot. But if you tried it on a healthy person, it's probably not going to be a good idea. And the annoying thing is that it looks like it would have to be tailored for each individual species. You couldn't use one for a method for, say, Andorians on humans, but this is something that's going to take a while, but can be done.
Right. Yeah, Chelak has a new project, so he will do that.
But Davrin?
Well, Davrin's just come off of a journey of his own. He's probably not up to much, to be honest, Chris. I think he's going to go back to his quarters and check his messages, just in case, because his quote-unquote cousin, although she seemed settled in as when he left, maybe him leaving has not helped, and maybe think the situation's changed in the meantime.
There is actually a message from her when you get back to your quarters, but it's not something to worry about. It's just a case of making sure you got back to Deep Space Nine. Okay, I'm doing. It's, you can tell she's not used to sort of talking like in the messages, and it's like I wanted to send a video message, but I didn't feel up for it. And even the text is lucid and calm. You can tell that there's definitely a change in the grammar every so often as her different personalities come to the fore. But it's not there's nothing to be worried about. There is a note from the counsellor, whose name I completely forgot, and she said that she is actually doing very well, but all things considered, it's still going to take time before she's able to fully give you the information you desire, but the outlook is looking very positive. It's just, again, it will take time.
Right, so he will immediately record a reply, which he will do as video, to sort of help normalize it for her, so she'll feel more comfortable about it.
No problem. That's easy enough
time. And just to say he's arrived safe, and he hopes he's still well, and she can get in touch anytime if she wants to talk about anything.
Just as you finish that message, you do get an immediate emergency page come through from Captain Press like, Damocles senior staff, get your asses to ops now.
Okay. Hammer the send button.
I mean, even like site-to-site transport kind of thing. It's like that urgent. As you arrive, you hear you see there's a lot of people in ops. There's people running around pointing up, and there's a message like, replay the message, replay the damn message. Back on the screen, you see one of the captains, possibly from the s2e, not 100% sure. Believe the captain's name was Enrique Lorenzo. Italian descent, probably think from Earth, definitely Terran descendant. But what gets your attention straight away is that this bridge that they're on is messed up. There's combat going on. There's the screen's staticking. It's like DS10, and it keeps cutting out every so often. Under attack, need, and just cuts out. So where were they? And the captain's like, where the bloody hell are they? It's like, well, getting the information from Deep Space 10, sir, and there is a slight delay because obviously it's coming from Deep Space 10 to the wormhole to Deep Space 9, and it's they send the coordinates of where the message came from. As the captain looks at it, he just takes one look at Tyr and goes,
Yes, Captain.
it looks like you was right.
I will assemble the crew and make the Damocles ready.
Yeah. Tonic, I think we're going to need you in medical mode. Activate the EMH on Damocles, get him to prepared. There's Starfleet that sending some more ships, what they can spare, but we are basically on a rescue mission. Go.
Acknowledged, Captain.
Within minutes, the well-oiled, although slightly eccentric crew of Damocles takes off from Deep Space Nine. Wormhole. Seeing DS10. After activating the slipstream drive to get them to the immediate location, dropping out of slipstream, out of warp, the first thing that greets everybody's eyes is if anybody had ever been to Wharf 359, that's what it resembles. There are no ships. There is pretty much a wreckage field here. There is parts of ships flying past nacelles, sparking whole components. It's you see the the basically broken in half saucer of one of the galaxies spiraling past the view screen. Whatever happened here was utterly devastating.
Fuck.
Indeed.
Can we scan for any survivors?
Yes, you can. Make a roll, please.
Who's good at scanning stuff?
I believe that's our resident Vulcan.
That would be me.
Yes.
Plus the computers.
Yes.
Please. Insight or reason?
I'm going to say insight because you're trying to sort of.
Alright.
Yeah. Reason's more sort of sitting down and thinking about it.
I mean, no different for me.
Sensors and
Probably computers, I think.
no,
Sensor. Oh no, it's
sensors and science.
So yeah, sensors and science. Sorry, I'm looking at the wrong list. Boom. Yeah, you get. There are lots of life pods out here, lots of them, and in fact, as you're watching, you see that a few of them actually do kind of as they get hit by secondary explosions, by wreckage banging into them. There's quite a few of these life pods about, quite a few of them.
Gonna catch them all?
Yeah.
You're going to have to start doing some major transportation rolls. you're gonna have to start using it. The captain's like,
Let's use
beaming them
transporter
aboard.
room 2.
Yes, even transporter room 2. I don't care. Beam everybody on board now. Any space, get as many people on this ship now.
What's the transportation role?
I don't know. I can't remember. Control engineering and sensors and engineering. So whoever's
Control and engineering, I might.
okay.
I don't know if Davrin is in. How Davrin is in control and engineering.
Okay, basically,
I'm out.
9 control free
because
engineer.
there's so much.
Then I'm better.
You're each going to have to make these roles because you're all operating different.
Yeah,
Because
fair enough.
There's the main transporters. There's the cargo transporters. Who's going to be unlucky and take transporter room 2?
I destroyed it. I'll take it.
Because whoever uses that is going to have an increase in complication range.
Then it's best when I'll do it because I have the high chance in succeeding
That's very true.
mathematically.
Yeah, you've got the matter manipulation focus.
Focus, I have that too.
We were trying to find one that covered both, replicators and everything else. So we just gave it a generic one. Okay, so let's go with Tonic first. Okay,
What do I do?
you're making. I imagine Tonic's just like you are everyone is making transporter rolls.
Oh.
Because it's like pretty much everyone's working at least one transporter.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Even the captain's like trying to sort of try and coordinate this.
Not bad.
Okay, and somebody else can roll for the ship for this one. It'll be sensors,
Okay.
sensors and engineering.
Do you still have it open, Andreas?
No,
Alright, okay,
Well,
I'll do it then.
right
Okay.
to it.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Yeah, Brian could do.
Okay, yeah, that's a good idea, actually.
Yeah.
Makes a lot of sense right now.
Okay. You got to get used to making the rolls.
Yeah. Hooey!
Very nice. You managed to snag three life pods with your rapid locking onto the ship, the small ships, and these things are small, but there's a few of them bouncing around all over the place. Boom, boom, and you have on your display successful transportation. Tonic.
That
Yep.
was Tolek.
Sorry, my apologies. Tira.
Okay.
I would suggest using a little bit of our maxed momentum. I think I will as well.
Yeah, and also before I use the transporter room 2, I speak with it. I know you had a rough time. I know you're feeling a bit off lately, but we both can do it. Show the captain that you still got in it, baby.
Wow, that worked.
But now this might have been a pure coincidence, but you're pretty sure Transport Room 2 has never operated this perfectly. It's not only do you manage to get 3 life pods, you managed to beam one of them site to site to the.
Well, before you declare it did work perfectly, shouldn't we actually roll for the
Yeah.
his roll. Sorry.
Could be complications.
Don't say
Don't
that.
jinx it. Don't have jinxed it now. Go on, Bright. Same again.
I kind of wanted to jinx it.
No.
There
Booyah!
you go. Perfect roll. Absolutely perfect roll.
That's
And it's boom. It's you're getting. You're getting quite a few people, and it's like the EMH turns around and goes, Captain, we're running out of room down here. You're going to have to start putting survivors elsewhere. It's like, well, where else can we put them? We're running out of room here as well. There's room in the bridge. Okay, next one, Ross. Sorry, Davrin.
yeah. All right. So I'm going to spend a momentum as well. I think.
Okay.
So it's control and engineering. Oh.
Oh, that was a sweet roll. That was a sweet roll. Okay, who wants to roll for?
I'm showing
one
Tira
of you-
up.
Yeah, it's almost as if like, the other transporters just was going. So
If
if you could make
If that transporter and 2 can do it. Hey.
There we go. And you managed to beam a few more survivors on board, but you realise at the last moment that, yeah, you're going to have to drop at least one of them on the bridge, because there's no more room elsewhere.
I thought you were going to say drop him out in space.
You know what? Yeah.
Well, considering this is going to be you, Brian, just see your character floating past the
Thank
view screen.
Christ.
We don't simply drop people out in space.
Right. And
Before that, we take all their clothes and belongings, and then we drop them out of into
That's
space.
exactly, loot the bodies first. And materialising on the bridge, coughing, huddled up as if in an escape pod. Brian, could you describe your character, please?
He is a Bajoran. He's 28 years old. He is a lieutenant. He's wearing red, and he's covered in debris and soot and not, just crap and grime and stuff from being in the ship. Yeah, not looking good. Not looking bad, but
yeah, there's
just a mess.
There's not so much scorch marks, but there's been like a panel explosion nearby. His hair's messed up, and you say he's just coughing like man. It's like sort of hit that kind of
yeah. I hit the non-ionized clean air of the Damocles.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
coughing my lungs out.
yeah, it's pretty much might be worth giving him a quick check over. Just saying.
Yeah, sure. Kodak will.
There's a coughing, almost dying Bajoran on the bridge. It's like everyone's just standing there going. Hello.
Yeah.
Kodak will immediately just do a medicine check.
Okay, if you could just make a. And yes, your focus will count this because technically this will be xenobiology.
Yeah.
Very nice, yeah. Nothing that a very minor sort of hyper spray of your standard. Basically, you only need the equivalent of first aid.
Okay, well, Kodak will provide that immediately without consulting.
Okay.
Just scan, draw, fire.
Vulcan efficiency, you feel the hyper spray in your neck and your lungs immediately clear. And
And shields are up.
I'm looking around like, why am I on a bridge? What the hell just happened?
that's what I was going to ask you. It's like you do estimate there's a few more people being beamed in onto the bridge, and it's a couple of medical staff are now coming to the bridge to triage and report. Say, this is Captain Pro of the USS Damocles. What ship are you from?
I'm Lieutenant Walker Morale from the USS Salish. What was the USS Salish? Looking at the view screen.
Yes, that's what we're going to ask you. What the hell happened?
Such a pretty ship. It's just
he sort of clicks to get attention. Lieutenant, focus.
I'm not fully sure. I was running between posts when we dropped out of warp. I was on my way to the bridge. I couldn't quite get there. We were under attack or something right away. Our chief engineer was killed. I was ordered to go assist in engineering, and I went to engineering, and then the warp core started losing its stability. We couldn't find a way to contain the breach, and I couldn't get a hold of the ship or the bridge at all. So I just got everyone in engineering to escape pods and to shuttle bays, and then I don't really remember. I think I got hit in the back of the head. I think I was following someone, but I can't. It's very hazy.
What was you doing in the Gamma Quadrant? Do you know what your mission was?
Not really. I was told to get on the ship and get to my post. I was on DS9. I was enjoying the art galleries and I just ran to the ship to get on it. I never really had a chance to get situated.
This is definitely not. It's now you've probably never spoken with Captain Burt, you've probably heard of his reputation as being throughout the fleet as being a not so much a volatile captain, but definitely not one to hide his emotions. It's a sort of friendly reputation, and realizing you're on what is basically the most advanced Starfleet vessel, you know exactly who this captain is, and do you know this crew? Are you aware of them? I mean, you'd definitely be aware of the captain, but the crew.
I probably would have been aware. Like, I would have heard the stories of the Damocles. I don't know, like, how detailed they would be. I might know Davrin by name, but I doubt I would know the other two.
Let's just say some of the stories that probably reached you were exaggerated to some degree. So
probably, and like a lot of them we
true.
laughed over, over drinks.
You would have heard about a certain Andorian creating a maneuver where they slingshotted around a star. You may have heard about a certain Vulcan's mother being involved in an incident on Cardassia, and things like that. But nothing sort of concrete.
Yeah.
Our handling of a Kobayashi Maru must be a bit legendary. Yeah.
That I would say is probably one of the sort of things that it's Tolek is the only one not involved in that actually, because he joined the crew later. But Tira and Davrin, it's I'm not going to make you roll, but I'm going to say you have heard tales of the infamous incident of the Kobayashi Maru, where it's only ever happened once in Starfleet's history, where they actually managed to blow up, deliberately or not, the Kobayashi Maru with their own torpedoes.
That was a part of the program.
Those guys ruined a perfectly good ship.
Technically, it was a certain Vulcan Admiral's programming that did that.
Right. So, like,
There's a
continue
reason she
scanning,
hates
please.
me.
It's like the captain's like he's like looking down, and he's rattled. He is full on rattled. It's you'll know. I mean, Wacom wouldn't have as much notice, but the crew does that. He had an incident in the Dominion War. And it's one of the reasons why he not so much ended up in therapy, but it's how it's complicated. But you know his history, and you know that he's not a great fan of seeing stuff like this. It's you can see he's actually starting to grip tightly the armrest on his chair very tightly. He's still maintaining a calm composure, but it's his hand. You can see his right hand is really starting to grip the chair.
So, seeing this,
I was going to say Tolek will adjust the view screen to other areas where there is less debris. Yeah. Just to make sure that he didn't miss any potential survivors.
Good idea.
maybe you should put a cat meme on the some. Yeah, so speaking of missing survivors, so seeing the captain's a bit
stressed.
Yeah, a bit discombobulated right now.
Yes.
Davrin has, he says to Tolek, are there any other survivors?
Tolek will do another sensor sweep.
Yeah. It's easy enough to do. It's as you're doing a sensor sweep, you do notice there is another ship coming in, the Defiant. It's actually coming to pick up a few survivors as well. You think there's a couple of Bajoran like civilian ships have joined in. It's just taken this long to get here.
Yeah.
So okay, and there's no sign of any hostiles.
Nothing that you can see.
But I would still suggest yellow alert.
Okay. Damn it! I still haven't got the yellow alert set up. I'm going to put it to red alert instead. No.
Yeah.
Which it should.
Davrin will just go ahead and give an order for yellow alert.
Okay.
Even though he's technically not ranking officer here, just because.
No, it's as Davin is technically the first officer. It is within his, I suppose you could say, remit to do that. It's because there's only a few. It's only a few officers can actually call for red and yellow alert. The captain, the first officer, and whoever's on. If they're not available, whoever the duty officer is. So Davrin turning around and calling for yellow alert is not, a breach of protocol or anything. Now, if Tiva tried it, then there might be a slight reprimand unless it was very much justified. But no, it's as the yellow alert is called, and as Tonic moves the screen away, there's a very subtle acknowledgement of thank you, and you can see his hands start to relax a little bit. Continue scanning for.
May I recommend that we remain just long enough to ensure that there are no hostiles threatening the other rescue ships?
Agreed.
In the meantime, would you like me to do the rounds and see if I can find anyone who knows anything more?
Good idea. Tira, could you go with Davrin? In fact, Tonic, can you start in? And sorry, what was any points to? I'm sorry. What was your name again?
Lieutenant Wackham Rawl, sir.
Could you go with these people and help them in?
Sure.
I think they will probably
Yes,
you can
sir.
remember about you can remember. Let them know. But in the meantime, get to work. We have got a lot of people to get back to Deep Space 10, Deep Space 9. So
let's look for high-ranking officers.
okay. So where on the Damocles are you going to start? Because bear in mind the
The
Damocles
bridge?
is pretty much full of survivors at the moment. It's like corridors, spare rooms. The only places that aren't are the more sensitive areas, like Tolic's lab for obvious reasons, the main engineering because of a certain item that is in there, as you can be well aware, and
Cargo Bay 1.
Cargo Bay 1 as well, which is puzzled a few of them and say, why didn't we get into your cargo bay? And it's like we've got technical difficulties with that at the moment, but
Right. Well, I mean, we may as well head down in the direction of the EMH, I guess, and
the big medical
we can the medibay. That's the word I was looking for. And we, as we go through the corridor, we can literally see the pips, can't we? So
yeah. There are pretty much, there's bodies everywhere. Some of them are unfortunately just expired because nobody was able to get to them in time, but you can see that all the crew that do have medical training, they are rushing from every person they can. Some people are got broken arms, others have got, you can see there's one there's a Tellarite who's got like a plasma burn above on his face, and when it's actually been tended to by another Tellarite nurse who's making a joke that it's like, at least now you're good looking and stuff like that, to which the guy with the burn on his face is actually trying not to laugh because it hurts so much. But it's you can see he appreciates the Tellarite humour. But yeah, could you each make a I would say a command and where's it gone?
insights.
Yeah, I'm going to say command and insight roll for this particular one. Each of you make a roll. That includes you as well, Brian, for this one. Okay. All right.
Success.
Right. Now,
Oh yeah.
You all notice something straight away.
Yeah, Brian is only rolling with one dice.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah.
Okay, that's very weird.
I changed nothing from when we tried this earlier.
Okay,
I promise I didn't mess with it.
Let me just check something on your character sheet first of all, because it's probably something I may have accidentally changed without realising.
Well, has the task roll been set to 1?
There we go, task roll. There we go.
That'll be it.
Yeah, make that roll again.
Okay, good.
Because by default it's supposed to be 2 for that one. So, right, brilliant. Yeah. Now, something you all notice straight away. There's nobody with a rank above lieutenant.
Do I recognize any of them?
No, you don't. That's the thing. You don't notice any more of your crew, Brian. It's also well back on. You notice, there's a few crew you recognise, because you've been mingling, you've seen like reports, standard sort of thing, but you don't actually see anyone else that you recognise from the Salish Sea? At least on the corridors.
While we
really sad.
are
Yeah.
while we are walking down the corridors,
Yeah.
Lieutenant Barcom,
Yes.
out of curiosity, what was your job on your ship?
I was flight controller. And I was given the assignment of handling ship or fleet coordination. But I got that information while I was on my way onto the Salish when we were leaving, so I never really had a chance to do anything.
And you don't know anything why they chose this spot in space?
I
to
couldn't even get to the bridge. As soon as I felt us drop out of warp, we started taking hits, and I couldn't. The way was blocked. I got a communication saying that our chief engineer was dead, and I just booked it.
So they were waiting for you.
I guess. I don't want to speculate, but that's the information I have.
That's my job to speculate.
As you are sort of making your way through the ship, Wacom, you notice straight away there's a Jem'Hadar down the end of the corridor. And he's a big boy.
Oh!
He's a very big boy.
Why?
Well,
I'm just sort of like shuffling behind Tara.
He's actually sort of bending down over one of the injured crew.
Is that a problem?
First, are you behaving?
This one is injured. I am helping.
Yes. How?
Giving him a quick death.
So, and you see he holds up what basically is a hyper spray. The doctor gave me this, told me to people.
Okay. Good.
You see, there's a very confused look on his face. He's like, have I done something wrong?
No, you're doing everything fine. Thank you for your help. Just don't give anyone the stuff you are taking. And
No, that wouldn't be good. It's as you're saying, he's doing a big job. I mean, the best way to describe first is he's basically like a teenager in terms of his personality, and hearing a compliment from someone he admires, he actually does attempt that weird Jem'Hadar grin. It's like he's going all teeth kind of thing. It's just like the person who he's attended to wakes up and goes, ah! It's like, sort of,
Lieutenant, that's first one of our Jem'Hadar. Don't worry. He doesn't mind.
One of your Jem'Hadar.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have Jem'Hadar. It's no
Don't
big
you have one?
No.
You do see, unfortunately, the poor guy has just fainted. That's the scene the Jem'Hadar. But it's just like first it's like poking him, going, sort of leaves it and goes into the next person.
We had a changeling at one point.
Great. Sure.
I mean, that's nothing. Wait till you meet Archie.
Oh yeah, that
Like
was
the
fun.
old comics?
Yeah, something like
What?
Never mind.
Okay.
Now, after a brief sort of saunter, you do eventually get to the medibay, and it's packed. It is really packed. There's people coming to and fro. In fact, one of them bangs into Wacom, stops, gives you a very odd look, and then runs off down the corridor.
Okay.
Do I see that?
Make a security and insight roll.
Do I recognize him?
I'm going to say you think you recognise them.
Does my talent constantly watching help?
Not really, no, not for this one, because it was not so much a danger.
Okay.
It's more a case of, did you see this incident going on, kind of thing.
One.
You saw someone moving fast down the corridor. didn't see the odd look that was given to.
Okay, no,
Didn't
okay,
even
then nothing suspicious for
No,
me.
just a standard sort of thing. That's yeah. Again, Tonic and Ross, sorry, and Davrin. Based on your roles earlier, again, you notice there's still nobody with rank above lieutenant.
Is anyone that is a lieutenant wearing command colours?
There's a couple of people. There's one of them's
I mean,
one of them's sitting up on the medi bay, and you can see that's holding her arm. It looks like a Cation sort of the type, and you can see half of the fur where her arm has been again burnt, and she's just holding her head and going as if it's the head that's hurting her more than the arm.
right. Well, absent anyone, more clearly ranked, I think talking to her, despite her pain, is probably the best thing to do.
Yes.
So I'll approach Dakatian.
Yes.
And she obviously ranked lieutenant, right? So
Yeah, she's it's
lieutenant. I'm sorry to disturb you.
well, yes, it's where
You were on the USS Damocles, and
Damocles. We are. This. Where's my ship?
well, I'm afraid your ship is lost.
No. It can't be lost. It's no. This is no. And she gets up and says she's going to leave and is.
No. Please, you have to sit.
What?
Honestly, the EMH will have my hide if you leave this room.
Image is like, yes, I will. It's like, excuse me, Vulcan. And she's pointing to Todic. Is this true?
Lieutenant.
Is my ship gone?
Lieutenant Commander Davrin is quite correct.
No. And you can see she's just. How many survivors? Who? What happened?
Well, that's sort of what we were here to ask you. Do you know why the fleet was sent here?
Only that our orders were to. Our captain was very evasive. He said that we were to go to a particular system and aid the Dominion in a defense against the Bendrazi. But I think it was. We were attacked as soon as we dropped out of warp by a very powerful weapon. Very, very powerful.
As I hear this, I go to the EMH doctor. Have you scanned for psionic residues and the patterns of the patients?
As you say that, he's like, I will do so immediately, Lieutenant. Keep her talking. Keep her distracted whilst I do this. It will help with the scan.
Davrin gives Tira a meaningful nod. That's the first thing that came to mind for him as well, and I have no doubt for Tolek. So they're probably all exchanging these.
Mr. Tolek, could I have your assistance as well, please, with this? And he's basically sort of he's indicating like he wants your help with this scan because it's quite a complicated one.
Yeah. Coming up.
Okay. So
I'm just sort of wandering around at this point.
There's a few people like sort of going out to you and going, like, as if they're trying to say, "Are you from?" And they're saying that different names of the ship, like the Echo, the Agamemnon, a few other ships now. But basically, they're all ship names that you recognise were in this fleet. So far, you've not spotted anyone that you recognise from your ship.
Well, as these people are all crowding around, Davrin sort of raises hand to quieten them and says, I'm sorry, we cannot answer all of your questions right now. In fact, we need answers of our own. Does anyone in this room know what the orders for this fleet were?
I might be able to. There was. I can vaguely remember our captain saying that it was going to upset a few people. That it would. And sort of struggling to get the words, and so I might a little bit. But basically, to boil it down to what happened was they believe they were sent there deliberately, and it was a last-minute decision. In fact, she does vaguely recall her captain, and it turns out she was from the Echo. That it was a bit of a puzzle why the Damocles wasn't joining them. There was a few of the captains were like, why isn't the most powerful ship in this quadrant, in fact in Starfleet, that has the most experience in this part of space, why aren't they joining us? And any time that question was raised, the captain immediately just went, no more discussion on this. Interviewing a few other people, you do start to get similar reports that the fleet was deliberately sent here, that they were, and all stories start to corroborate that they were attacked as soon as they dropped out of warp, like literally out of warp, boom. They didn't even get time to put their shields up. But what I'm going to do is now get Tolic to roll a science and insight roll, please.
Of course.
This will be assisted by whoever wants to roll to represent the ship or the MH. Okay. Ooh, I'm
doing so well.
I'll take a threat for that one. Now, you do recognise that there is.
What the ship, please?
Okay. Oh yes, forgot about that. It doesn't matter who wants to roll for that one.
I'll do it. So what is it?
This will be. Oh, this is going to be into. I'm going to say sensors and science for this one because you're utilising the EMH's sensors and medical stuff. Okay.
That's a little better.
Yeah, there is definite psionic residue in everybody, including Macon as well. It's not high in him. It's definitely sort of. To put it another way, it's the difference between being fully caught in an explosion and only being singed. Much like his clothing has only been very slightly singed, his brain has only very lightly been touched with the psionic weapon. It's very light though, like it's like not enough to do any damage, but it's definite signs that you've been exposed to it.
Tira to Captain Pro.
What is it, Tira?
We have a big problem. Starfleet has a big problem.
I think we need to get back to Deep Space 10 and 9 and drop off these people first.
Should I speak here or shall we speak in your ready room?
I think in my ready room will be best. If you see he can hear in his voice he's very subdued over what he's seen.
Yeah, and Tira sounds for the first time very nervous.
Yes, could you bring anybody who might have a contribution up to my ready room, please, including any command officers, please. Please tell me you found some command officers.
That's why I need to speak to you immediately.
Oh dear. Very well. Come up to the ready room, please. It's we're going to take things. Well, we can't slipstream drive again, so it's going to take a little bit longer for us to get back. We're going to cut to the ready room. It's been like literally a few minutes later, and there is the usual crew, our new Bajoran guest, and the Cation who you were speaking to earlier from the Echo, and you find out her name is Latesh. Spelled L''TESH.
So, Captain, all the ships, we don't know yet why they were here, but they were attacked by Bendrazi with their psionic weapons, and possibly were pandered with their memory. And I deeply fear that all the commanding officers were abducted by Mr. Bendrazi. And you know what every commanding officer has.
As you say Bendrazi, Latesh is eyes sort of, and her ears prick up, and you can see her tail's just like twitching. It's like, yes, I can remember there was definite talk about the Bendrazi. They were the ones who attacked us. You see her fur's basically, you know, the way a cat gets when they get pissed off, their fur stands on end. That's basically what's going on with her at the moment. It's not a. You see, she's trying to. It's like, I'm sorry, Captain. It's. I will let Commander. Sorry, Lieutenant. I mean, I will let you. And you can see your brain's getting.
We have a huge risk and security leak for Starfleet and the Federation now. If that is true.
I worry that it may be more than just a leak, Captain.
What do you mean?
Lieutenant Tesh said that it was a very last-minute order, and yet, despite that, the Bendrazi were here, waiting.
At the leak I meant for possible attacks on the Federation, because if they probe deeply they can have codes for planetary defense systems, fleet movings.
This day cannot get any better, can it? Or any worse, even.
Tolek, do you have
Tolek,
good news?
please tell me you have some good news. Anything? Jinx. It's like literally, I imagine that the captain and Tira say it exactly the same time.
Yeah.
Like, please tell.
I cannot provide those.
And you still did not find any commanding officers at all, anybody in any senior staff.
And it's highly unlikely they have been all killed. It's way more likely that they have been adopted by the Bendrazi.
I haven't even been able to find anyone from my ship.
No one?
No one.
Fascinating.
That's strange.
Yes.
What was your ship again?
The USS Salish Sea. It's that tragically destroyed Acura class out there. I gaze longingly out the window.
It says that at the window part of the whole goes actually,
Besides being an Akira class, which is a mighty fine ship class, what was that your ship stand out to the others?
It's the ship had a service record during the Dominion War. We have been patrolling the Romulan border for most of the time I've been on the ship. I don't really know. The last I heard, the reason we were at Deep Space Nine was for reassignment, and that's all I knew.
No special guests on board. No experimental technology.
Not really. I mean, we rotate. Being an Acura class, we had our utility pod changed out frequently for different missions, but nothing unusual so far that I was aware. I know that I wasn't. It was unusual that I wasn't flying the ship anymore. I was coordinating with other ships in the group, but that's just assignment changes. It's nothing really unusual.
As you're saying this, you see that the captain's actually deep in thought. Tolek, could you quickly pop to the bridge and run? In fact, he sort of like goes on to communicator. Ricky, can you quickly take us back to the battle site? Something's been bothering me. Yes, I know we are pressed for time now, injured on board, but this is important. Just take us back to the main site, and you can actually feel the ship start to turn and head back.
What is it, Captain?
Can you just get out there and scan the wreckage? Something's been bothering me about that wreckage, and I've anything odd, anything that shouldn't be there, anything that should be there. Just an entire fleet of ships do not suddenly get destroyed for no reason.
That is a logical assessment. Lieutenant, what's way?
Wacom, right?
Welcome,
Welcome, Raw.
Yeah.
Lieutenant Welcome. How many ships were in the fleet that arrived?
It was 7, right,
10.
Chris? 10?
Yeah,
10.
That's 10. It's a decent sized fleet.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. That information might be relevant.
As the coordinator, you would have been aware of their names and the types of all the vessels?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was basically his role, was to say, right, we're all going to jump now, we'll all go to these coordinates, this ship go over there, that ship go over there. That was basically his job.
Okay.
Could you let us know that?
Yeah, we'll get a we'll
Yeah,
then
like, I'll-
get a list.
Yeah.
Yeah, who knows? It could become relevant.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So it's now you're handed a pad, and you are, really minutes. It's you can, although you may not know every detail about every ship on there, you do know the ships that were with you, and you do provide the Tolek with the list. It's as mentioned, there was the USS Echo was the vanguard, the point of the spear, as it were. There was the Sanish Sea, there was the Agamemnon, and say a few other ships as well. In total, 10. Reasonable mixture of ships. Actually, it's very, very odd. No, not like, I mean, you expect if he was going to send an attack fleet, that you would see lots of what you would call combat ships. But some of these ships are actually quite old. There was even an Excelsior class in there as well, which is pretty much, even though it's a well-respected design, at the same time, it's generally not a ship that's used for combat excursions. It's more of a admiral's flagship kind of ship. It's perfect for that kind of thing, but it's not a major combat vessel. Yeah, there was, and something else you notice straight away is each ship is actually of a different class. There's no two classes matching.
Oh god.
Nee.
Oh no.
No. Do you? No.
Yeah.
Darren, I think we have the same idea. No,
we
you can spill the
probably
beans.
Yep. It's there's probably like an Intrepid class there as well. It's
A Nova class.
Captain, I'm afraid my suggestion that this was not simply an information leak is looking more likely now.
The Bendrazi have now very probably the designs and the layouts of every single ship type of the Federation.
Not to mention, they'll be incorporating parts of those ships into, if they've got any wreckage with them.
as you
their
said,
own
it's like
ships.
Tolek, immediately scan the wreckage. I want you to determine how much has been taken, if any.
Understood, Captain.
Sorry. So this is going to be a harder one than normal. This is going to be a difficulty of 3 for this, because there's a lot of wreckage from different
Yeah.
ships.
Take
I'm
whatever
gonna
you need.
take 2 momentum. Well, let's take 3.
Yeah.
I mean, although Vulcans are good at working out stuff like this, there's a lot of wreckage, and it's you're having to identify. Wait, is that from an Akira? Is that from an Intrepid? Is that from a Nova?
I can help with that.
Yes, you can.
Yeah.
So you can. Okay, I'll say rather than making a ship roll, because you're not really using the sensors this one. You Wacom make the roll, because it's like you're tapping into your knowledge. Damn, son.
Oh well.
Vulcans.
Damn!
Holy shit! That's an incredible roll. It really is.
Other than that one complication, we've been on fire.
Everybody has an off day. Everybody has an off day.
What was the role? Insight
Um,
science, you said?
Yeah. Actually, no. For you, this was probably going to be. I'm going to say insight engineering. Actually, because you're trying to ascertain. It's like a massive jigsaw puzzle with multiple jigsaw puzzles mixed together. So you're trying to determine what pieces are missing and things like that. And with that role, assisted by the, you've worked with Vulcans before, but seeing one get in the zone and just calmly interesting. And it's a sight to see, and within minutes, you actually get your report through Tonic, and you notice that even allowing for destruction and debris that may have drifted out sensory range and things like that, there's a rather large amount of wreckage missing.
Captain,
Specifically,
there
doesn't seem to be much wreckage of the Echo.
Captain, there does seem to be quite a bit of wreckage missing, especially from the USS Echo and the newer ships, it seems.
What?
Yeah, like given for, impact and debris drift, and I just start rattling off I start drifting off in conversation.
Lieutenant Rahl maybe get to the point.
Yeah, it's just like, skip a bit, brother.
Yep. There's stuff missing that shouldn't be missing.
And I now know
Very
what
significant.
Q meant when he said that we shouldn't be troubled by Gital and her plans.
Sorry, who?
Q.
Yeah, because it's... Yeah, Wacom doesn't know about this.
Well, as far as I know, no.
I know what a Q is.
No,
I
but
didn't
but
think
he doesn't know
anyone
about
knew.
this particular incident.
Which is why Davrin's asking.
Q who?
Yeah. Sorry, who?
Sorry, I had to get that in. It's like,
Long story short, I had a short run in with a Q
Well,
a
you
few
kept that
months
quiet.
even the captain's just going.
And
you
he
can
wants,
see he's looking at his ready room. It's like,
and after I kicked him in the nuts, I had a question free, and he did warn me that it was not that Gital or the Dominion were the ones we would be afraid of. I think we have that is what he meant. We have Starfleet is again infiltrated.
That seems without question at this point. But what do we do about it?
before you can actually say anything, you do hear beep beep. Captain, we've got a problem. Someone's trying to launch an escape pod.
Okay.
I immediately, on my console, log off the entire controls of that escape pod.
Okay, this is going to be a I'm going to say a security and control for this one, but this can be assisted by the ship because
And
I imagine
Our
you-
security officer is busy doing that. I will head down to the escape.
Don't
it's
forget
on-
first.
It's on deck 3, I think it is. It's coming from.
I'll go with Davrin.
Okay.
Has it something to do
So
with hack?
Before that, Tonic, are you staying on the bridge or are you going with them?
And then Tonic would stay on the bridge.
'Cause I realise we can't ignore you at the moment, so it's...
No, that's fine. Perform further scans. Also, I'll be right back.
Okay, so we'll say
So
that
you
Tonic's
guys
doing...
go ahead.
We'll say that Tonic's doing what he's doing, so we'll catch up when we get back.
So
Davrin will also give First a call. Get him to come along.
I shall be there.
we have a Shemata. We are not afraid to use them.
Yeah. It's,
I think that's the first time we've ever actually asked Gemma to help. So
well, technically they
It's a
are
sex time.
they are the ship's security, so...
yeah.
And does my focus on hacking help?
Not really, because it's...
I'm
you're not
hacking
trying-
against.
You're not hacking against the system. I mean, you do have, I imagine, your own protocols in place for when things, like...
Okay.
But you're not
And-
trying to break them. You're just basically going, boom, activate.
And the difficulty is?
This will just be a 1 because it's quite an easy task for a security officer on board a Starfleet ship. You've
But-
probably done drills in the past to simulate this at some point. So anything that's like nice,
Not on my ship.
boom. You can tell that there's the immediate override has locked down. Pretty much the only people who can now override this lockdown are yourself, Davrin, and the captain.
Tira to Davrin, I've got him gift wrap for you.
Oh, I do so like a good gift. Thank you, Tara.
Yeah,
I'm still just like weirdly eyeing the Jem'Hadar.
yeah, he's in.
Like,
He's in the turbo.
This isn't right. Like this
he's
is
in the-
against my training.
He's in the turbo.
First-
He's in the turbo lift with you, and he's just. I mean, he's now you've seen him standing up. He's almost hitting the top of the door. He is huge.
I know that the turbo lift in Starfleet in Star Trek actually goes super fast, but I feel like we have to have that moment where we're in a really slow lift and we've got a jingle.
We can say there's a temporary glitch in the turbo lift mechanism.
Davrin's they're in like a triangle formation. Davrin's at the front, and Lieutenant Wackham's to his left behind, and First is to his right behind, and they're exchanging good looks. Davrin suddenly sort of notices and goes, "Oh, First, Lieutenant Rao, First."
This massive
Hi.
Jem'Hadar looks down at you and hello.
And by the way, it's Lieutenant Warcom. Devon should know that.
He's only just met him, okay? So,
Yes, I ignore the social protocols, and I'm just like,
it's,
this is weird.
I mean, obviously, being from Starfleet, you know about the Jem'Hadar, but
Oh, yeah, for sure.
You've probably never seen one, at least not this close.
Probably.
You've seen pictures, and yeah, this dude is frigging like a brick. I mean, Davrin's not exactly a short fella, but he towers over Davrin, like by a good foot.
I'm like partly tempted to like poke a bicep, but
Do
I
it.
restrain myself.
Do it.
No, he would restrain himself. He's not that uncouth.
It's like,
But I'm seeing the mental picture right now, so with finger out almost and back.
And then I like go back and scratch my nose or something. It's like, right, shouldn't touch random people.
it's like he pretty much grabs his hand. It's like, what are you doing with your hand?
Scratching my nose.
He's not squeezing it, but he's just holding it, just in a way that's to
Tenderly.
say, for Jem'Hadar,
Oh my god.
for Jem'Hadar, yes, but for anyone else, this is uncomfortable.
He strokes your palm.
You know, he sort of runs his hand on, and say, no, we're not going down that path. So
This ship is weird.
yeah. You also noticed that, yeah, I mean the
The
Damocles,
ship's reputation is well earned, apparently.
the turbo lift door hasn't opened. And it's like, you're only going 3 decks. You're going literally from the bridge to deck 3. It shouldn't have taken this long.
Darren to Tira.
Yep.
Seems to be something wrong with the turbo lift.
By the way, that was the I'm going to reduce the threat because that was what the complication was earlier.
I don't know what you're talking about.
So that was what it was. So yeah.
Well, wait, what do you mean? Did you do this?
No.
Now is really not the time, Tira.
Are you suggesting that I would purposely put you in an awkward social situation?
You know me, Tira. I find no social situations awkward.
You
I
see,
bring the awkward usually.
you see that, so I can't possibly have done that.
Look, I'm just saying we're in crisis mode here. This is not the time for prank jokes. If it's as you stop it right now.
I was.
And if it's not you, and it happens to coincidentally stop right now, then no more will be said.
It's
You can see me not.
you feel first sort of leaning to you and stage whisper, "Don't worry, they're always like this."
I kind of like that in Dorian.
Yeah, that feeling will wear off.
And with this, the doors finally open, and you can see in the corridor, sort of halfway down, there is cause the way you get into like most of the escape pods is like a hatch that drops with like a little what do we call it? Like, not a step ladder, but a way to sort of climb into the escape pod. And you notice that one of them is active but hasn't launched. It's like it's like amber kind of thing to say it's ready to launch, but it hasn't launched yet.
Right, will that cause complications in getting it open then, Chris?
No, it's just basically so when people are what's the word, escaping, they know not to go to one of these ones. It's like like I say, this one's good, this one's not good, sort of thing. So you don't want to try and open this one because it's about to launch.
First, just to confirm, your weapon is set to non-lethal.
Which one? And at this point, you notice not only he has a rifle, he has a sword.
That's
Well, I don't think your
that's
sword
okay.
has a non-lethal mode. Does it?
He puts the sword down,
Hit him with the flat side.
and he's like, this rifle is basically a Polaron rifle that you see him just leaning up and go, click. Yes, Davrin. And he has that sort of, you've spoiling my fun.
Pouting.
Yeah, he's pouting. He is full on pouting.
Okay. Right, so, you two stand ready. Don't fire unless you have to. I'll try and get this.
First,
door
gives you a very funny look as if to say, hmm? And you go,
I mean, to be fair, he can take that instruction fairly liberally.
Mhm.
How do I know what he feels he has to do? But,
So, again, he just points his rifle at the thing, so gives you a go on, do what you're gonna
Yeah. So I go to the panel and try and get this hatch open.
do. Okay, this is just gonna be a nice, nice good old security and no, I'm gonna say engineering and control for this one.
Okay. Not fantastic at that. I will take a momentum.
Because obviously you can sort of override it with your first officer protocols sort of thing. So you can basically use that, but you still got to input it correctly.
Okay, complication.
Okay. I will. Okay, I'm going to be taking it and spending it immediately, so I'm not going to add it to the tracker. But yeah, you get the door open, and there's no such thing as a reaction roll, is there? So I'm going to get all of you who are present. First, I'm not going to make him roll because of where he's standing, but can you all, Wacom and Davrin, can you both make security and insight rolls, please?
Give it a go. Oh, damn.
We are back at your old grade.
Okay.
Well, no, because I am still succeeding.
Yes. Let's see. Wacom, you managed to dodge out away perfectly.
Woo!
Davrin, as you dodge out of the way of the phaser blast that comes out, you twist and you basically pop your ankle.
So I follow my twist with a shout,
Yes,
is what you're saying.
pretty much.
Yeah.
Somewhere there's an admiral just going.
Bloody hell.
Yeah, it's painful. It's extremely painful. You don't get hit by the blast, but you do. It's like, oh, it's just literally just a wrong possible way to.
First, you have good reason to fire.
And he fires. You hear a come from inside the. I know, he doesn't like it, does he? What? What you crumbling about? No. It's the occasions again, and you do hear this coming from inside the escape pod. Looking inside, and Wacom notices that person straight away. It's the same guy who bumped into you earlier. And
Oh, it's that guy.
and now you've got a good look at him. You actually recognise him as one of the few other members from the Salish Sea. In fact, you believe he was the duty officer on board. What? Well, come on, if you can get on my lap, you get on my lap, you grumble and tribble. And you notice he's got Lieutenant Commander pips.
Would I remember his name?
Yes, I think you would, but I can't remember what it was. So let's just kind of
Lieutenant Commander Traitor.
Trainer. There you go. Lieutenant Commander Trainer. There you go. Spelt with a Y. And it's Eric Trainer. Another human.
Okay. It's Lieutenant Commander Trainer. That's amazing. I thought everyone on the bridge was gone.
You seem like you work with the Dominion. I knew it. And he's like holding where he got shot by first, and he's pointing. He's like, "You're the traitor. You're the one who set us up."
What are you talking about, Eric?
You are working with the Dominion. You're... Oh, and he's like really sort of holding the side of his head, like, painfully. It's like it's. If you've ever seen them when someone gets a migraine and where they hold their head, it's like that. It's that kind of look.
Yeah. I sort of put 2 and 2 together with the whole psionic. I hear the word psionic earlier, and then I see the headache, and I put it together a little. It's like, Eric, come on, we'll get you to the infirmary.
No, I will not let you betray us, traitor. And he's looking straight at you when he says this.
Is Davrin able to have got hobbled to his feet?
Yes,
by this
but
point?
yeah, it's your foot is gonna. This is gonna. It hurts to put pressure on it, but you can stand.
What happens then is that as he's, calling Ral a traitor and ramping up to whatever he's about to do, suddenly a phaser blast hits him.
Ooh, this is going to be a what's it? A security roll, isn't it?
Security
You're
and
really gonna make me roll
control.
for
That's a
it.
security. I'm going to say yes, because if you get a complication, something is going to happen.
All right, fine.
It's
So
only,
what is it,
it's only
security?
see if you get a complication.
Security and what?
Control.
Control, because you're aiming at him.
All right, well, I'll take a
Um,
momentum for that.
Okay. Boom, he's down. He is out like a light.
Oh, come on, I could have tried.
I mean, he's not dead. You can still see he's breathing, but he has got
Right, no.
that polaron wound on his. Even when a polaron weapon is set for non-lethal,
It'll
it's still...
be easier to get to the EMH while he's not struggling.
Tira to Davran.
Go ahead,
I've-
Sarah.
I've noticed weapon fire. Are you still alive?
Are
Yep,
you still alive?
yep. That's an interesting question. I wouldn't be able to answer if I wasn't, but yes.
Are you still
I am in a
alive?
little bit of pain, but easily dealt with, just a twisted ankle. Anyway,
So,
we've guess what? We have caught a lieutenant commander. We have someone of higher rank who believed we were the traitors.
Met with a security field, please.
And immediately, first just picks up, and you see he lifts up this. I don't say body because the guy's not dead, but you see the this person who you recognise now as Eric Trainer, your duty officer, and he's just basically just picks him up like he was nothing. Like pretty much by the sort of scruff of the uniform. It's like, could you move out of my way, please?
Mm-hmm. Yep. And I was.
It just carries him off towards the medibay, which you think is like probably like the next floor down or something. Anyway,
He was the duty officer, right?
Yeah, he was like the. It's now that you've seen him, you're starting to remember a few things of what happened just before the battle. A lot, in fact, every single one of the commanding officers who were on duty at the time left the bridge.
So, okay.
You don't know why.
And he would have been the one who told me to go to engineering
yes,
because he was the duty officer. Okay.
that's correct.
All right. So
And
I
that's
remember.
why he gave you a funny look when he bumped into you. It's like, wait a minute.
Right.
And you start
Right.
to suspect that this is also the person who, when you said someone was following you, you think this might have been him. You can't be 100% sure, but you're definitely getting those vibes.
Right. I admit half of that to Davrin. I said that he was the one who ordered me to engineering before I could even get to the bridge. And in fact, I think he was ordering other officers off the bridge. And I just sort of like stare, thinking.
Davrin strikes a thinker's pose. Well, I can't think of any protocol which would justify that.
I have assisted in engineering before, but not like only in casual duty. Nothing that I think would warrant putting me there in an emergency situation.
Well, it seems that we have to wake Lieutenant Command Traynor up as soon as possible.
On the bridge, Tolek?
Yep, Torek's still on the
Todek
bridge.
is busy,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
Currently?
he's either on the bridge or
Yeah.
probably helping Medibay. Up to you.
No, Todek on the bridge, scanning, and what he wants to try is find out if he can get any emission readings on where whoever was here when.
And I wanted to ask Tolek, that was in game with
So-
Tolek.
Yeah,
We'll come back to Tonic. We'll pretend this is happening whilst this is going on. Although I realise I'm trying not to have just one person be ignored for the game because that's kind of
yeah, no. So Todek would answer to yes, Lieutenant.
How good are your telepathic abilities?
You can come up here or not? Just gonna sit there looking at me.
They are limited, but there.
Could you... Is it possible to probe his mind?
It would be possible, but you would know that it would be with the damage that has been done with the psionic weapon. Doing a mind meld wouldn't be risky to you, but there is a small chance it could damage them even more.
Yeah, and Todek cannot mind meld.
Yeah.
He just can't do that. He could communicate with other telepathic individuals, yes. But yeah, no. As
That's why I was asking.
yeah, from a medical perspective, I would advise against.
And we don't have a beta site on board, do we?
Nope.
Yay! Why do I not make...
Not that you're aware of. There may be one on the survivors, and
But they are...
But they are...
Yeah.
they're all messed up. They're all affected by the psionic weapon. Basically.
They had their brains fried. It's not a good idea.
Yeah, you don't want to be plugging one fried brain into another.
But we could attempt to find somebody with that capability on Deep Space Nine.
Oh yeah, there would be.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know a good counselor
Yeah.
on the station.
Yeah.
Okay.
He would still be there. Yeah.
Alright.
I forgot what his name is, but he will still be there.
Yeah. So Todek will perform the scans to see if we can find any more clues.
Okay. Yeah, if you could make the roll that you need to make, which this my sheet, thank you. Yeah, this is going to be your standard. I'm going to say census sweep, so it's going to be reason and science.
Alright.
This one, assisted by census and science.
I'm gonna take 2 momentum, because any clues are good clues.
Yeah. Boom. It's like
Yeah.
Scanning. This is like second nature. This is like breathing to Tonic. You can pretty much do it with one hand behind his back. In fact, the thought does occur to you. It's like, I wonder if I could do this with one hand behind my back.
But it would be illogical. So.
Just as a sort of intellectual
Yeah.
exercise. Like, could I do this with one hand behind my back?
How much longer would it take?
Yeah. Would it take 5 seconds longer or 6 seconds longer? That sort of thing. But again, this is all just a thought that it's going. You're not going to do that for real. You do it like in your off time sort of thing.
Yes.
But yeah, you notice that there is definitely ships, not enough wreckage to justify.
Yeah.
Things have been taken, and you are starting to detect what can best be described as warp trails leading off into what you believe to be the direction of Bendrazi space.
Okay, that tracks. And Todek will make a note of
And
that.
there's quite a few of them.
That's what would be my next question. Yes, about
As
how
in-
many.
If you had to hazard a guess, you would say upwards of 50. Up past that point, you can't make any more of a calculation because
That's fine.
they start blurring into each other at that point. But yeah, you believe at least 50, maybe more.
Computer.
Acknowledged?
Are there any Gamma Quadrant patrol ships that have not reported back in the recent weeks. Recent 3 weeks. Let's be accurate here.
No ships have been reported missing.
Fascinating.
Obviously, apart from the ones that are.
Well, those, yeah.
Officially, they haven't been. Oops, excuse me. Officially, they haven't been reported missing.
I think the ship's computer's getting a bit snarky with you.
Yeah, I think Archie's been reprogramming it a little bit.
Tulloch wouldn't even disapprove. Damn it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't
Interesting.
remember.
Yeah. There's
Computer? No, he wouldn't get that from the computer. He'll
What's
have to.
ask why you might be able to.
Who gave the executive order to send this fleet to the Gamma Quadrant?
Damn it! I knew I should have written a name down. Where is it?
Must have been some kind of admiral.
It was Damocles. Yes. This is on record. You know, fleet commands and stuff like that.
Excellent.
It's just the fact that the Damocles wasn't involved was the curious fact. But
Yeah.
Everything else has been done by the protocol. But again, I can't remember her name, so I do apologise. It's everyone's favourite Vulcan admiral.
Oh.
It's her.
Oh, good. I'm glad.
She was the one who gave the order.
Okay, so
Her heart turned evil and cold when
Kolek will
the programming was
relay
glitched.
that information to the captain for now.
I'm gonna have to come up with a proper name for it.
Yeah.
You had one once.
I
upon a
did,
time, I'm
I did,
sure.
but I can't. It's because I lost a lot of my notes when my hard drive crashed.
Yeah, and my old game notes are on the other laptop still.
Yeah. I might be able to find it, but we'll just for the moment. I'm going to call her T'Pol because it's the only Vulcan name I can remember properly. But it's not spelled the same way.
I mean, you could literally put in front of anything and it would become a female.
If I remember correctly, that is actually the standard for female Vulcan names.
Female.
Give
The upper,
Ren or something.
Sorry? Okay, that's-
Give me 1 second.
I mean, if anyone can remember it, for the moment, it's
Anyway,
we'll
Yeah.
call her T'Pol
I have
for now.
done notes one time at the beginning.
that admiral. Okay.
Yeah, that's
Yes.
Admiral.
So Tulloch will relay that to the captain and say, I do believe it would be prudent to keep this information confidential for now.
Indeed. Well, we're going to have to hear about the Deep Space 10 now. Drop off these injured. This is, I'm getting told off by the UH. He's not happy that I've delayed our return. Why we have him active all the time, I do not know. Anyway, yes, that's good information.
because we keep getting injured.
That is very true, Davrin. Very true.
I'm not.
No, I imagine that's like someone on the bridge saying that.
That's probably
Here in the
Ricky.
background. Because
Yeah.
we keep getting bloody
I was the
injured.
voice of Ricky.
We keep getting injured. Be quiet. So yeah, arrival at Deep Space 10 because notice the time and my kidneys are really starting to give me grief, so I'm going to try and speed things up a bit now. Okay, so we arrive back at Deep Space 10. There's a rapid response from the medical corps and their version of the EMH and the medical staff. They work perfectly. They received a brief report about the psionic weapon, and they've sent word to Deep Space Nine about the Betazoid counselor, who has had sessions with Tira in therapy, and he says he'll be waiting for you at Deep Space Nine as soon as you can get there. Short trip through the wormhole later, and you're back there. And it's weird not seeing those other ships there now, knowing that they are basically destroyed. 10 of Starfleet's ships that were here only mere hours ago are now dust, wreckage. Docking at Deep Space 10, the guest is escorted via first, he's woken up by this point, but he's still groggy. His polar wound on the shoulder's been treated. Davrin's twisted ankle has been mostly healed. It's still smart if you put too much weight on it, but it'll be sorted in a few days.
I'll just have First Princess carry me around the ship.
Does Davin actually sort of jokingly say that? I imagine.
He probably would. That's kind of who he is,
And
really.
the thing is, first it's like, all right then, and he sort of squats down and it's like, go on in.
All right, fine. Yeah, we'll do it.
So
At this point, it's like they're daring each other on, seeing your.
yeah, pretty much. He does ask though, obviously, to be careful of his Ketracel white tube. You know, as you put it round there, he does. It's like, you know, sort of holding around the shoulders, not round the throat. Even though his throat can take it, he's more worried about the tube being damaged. So it's an odd sight. But the funny thing is, it's like, you notice, Wacom, that seeing this, most people just take one look and go back to what they're doing. You know,
I don't. I'm staring at them the entire time. What the?
It's just another day on Deep Space Nine and the crew of the Damocles. You even think, no, that can't be right. You think you just saw a robot trundle past at the end of the corridor with sort of tracks and what looks like a metallic body, and you think he waved at you as he went past, but you're not entirely sure. You do find yourself standing next to the Vulcan of the crew, of the command crew, and what you see before you is just weirdness.
How do you? What? I have no idea what to say. I start sentences and then stop because I don't know how to finish them.
I believe a human phrase is, "You get used to it."
Two Romulans again walk past you, and one of them, the younger one, says, "It's fine. This is just not a typical day for us."
Well, if they can get it, I can get it, I guess. What the hell did I get myself into?
And that, an Andorian hand lands on your shoulder from behind.
And did we, again, I can't remember, did we establish how tall Tira is?
Almost as tall as first.
So she's about, if you include her antenna, she's about 7 foot tall. Because she's tall for an Andorian, isn't she?
Yeah, there's tall for an Andorian woman, and Andorian women are taller than Andorian men.
Yeah, it's one of those sort of things. It's it's. And how tall roughly is Wacom? Would you say sort of typical Bajoran height? Okay.
6'2".
Yeah, so
the exact height is in my little dossier.
Okay, cool. So yeah, even though you're sort of typical height for Bajoran, yeah, this blue-skinned Andorian right next to you is tall. She's a good, even including the antenna, is a good foot above you, and she's just placed her hand on your shoulder.
Lieutenant Welcome. This is Lieutenant Ricky, and we've spoken with the EMH. You don't need any immediate medical attention. So we will invite you now to Quarks to drink to your fallen comrades until we cannot move any further.
Yeah. Davin, Davin and Tonic, you are called to the infirmary.
Mm-hmm.
Damn it! I just came from there.
Yeah, yeah. It was literally
First to the infirmary.
Just like gets to the quark. Imagine it just gets all the way to the Quarks. Can you come back? And you swear you hear first go. Just turns around and carries you back. Just sort of like
Quark, a drink to go for my friend first.
The best way to describe what you're seeing is, you know, the bit in Empire Strikes Back when Yoda is being carried by Luke.
What, I'm in a giant basket on
in terms of scale, that's pretty much what it's like. It's
First is now Hodor.
Hodor. Yes, no, that's a better one. Yes, Hodor carrying Bran. That's a better description, actually. And you do get again the occasional looks, but it's just more a case of, oh look, it's Davrin, not a case of, oh look, it's a Jen Hadar carrying a trill. It's
Davrin being Davrin. Really.
Yeah, there's weirder shit that's happened on this space station. People who come here know that weird shit happens.
I need to replicate a new camera and get a darkroom set.
I mean, obviously there's things that happen off between sessions as well. There's not everything that happens on there, but there's enough weird things that go on that this has become second nature. And when you arrive in the medibay, you see that the injured crew member, the one you were speaking to earlier, is the first thing he sees is the Gem Hadar, and he sort of panics, but then he sees that Davrin is being carried by him and he starts laughing.
I see you're feeling a little saner.
Yes, I would like to issue my apologies for I'm sorry. It's and admit we had to give him a sedative. He will be a bit giggly for a while. I do apologise.
I don't know whether that's really a sedative, to be honest.
It was a polar weapon. We had to do a little bit. He'll be fine. He'll just be a bit giggly. That's all. And at this point, I would imagine that Tolic also arrives.
Yes.
And this is when his demeanour, the person sitting in front of you, it immediately changes. He starts getting very guarded and backing up. Still, occasionally sort of laughing from the medication, but you notice he's not taking his eyes off Tolic.
Lieutenant Commander, Eric, is it?
Yes, sir. Sir?
Do you recognise this Vulcan?
I think I do.
In what capacity have we encountered each other before?
I'm not. I think I met you about 3 to 4 weeks ago. But it wasn't. It wasn't here. It was when we was in the Gamma Quadrant.
The probability of that happening are close to 0.
I know, it's and forgive me for saying so, sir, but Lieutenant, even he focuses. He's like, Lieutenant. He realizes he outranks you. Forgive me, Lieutenant, but every time I look at you, all I can think is fear and pain, and I have no idea why.
Fascinating. There is a possible answer.
What is it? And he looks at Davin being hodled, and every time it's like, say, Tonic stands on one side. Every time he looks over to Tonic's side, his face goes serious. But if he even catches a glimpse of Davin being yodered, he just starts giggling. But it's like he's switching between giggling and he doesn't want to laugh, but he can't help it. Every time he's just trying not to look in that direction now. It's yes, it's just it's a blank. It's a complete blank. I don't know why, but I just have the. And he just stops talking.
Have you had your current assignment long?
I was stationed on the Status C for approximately 2-3 months, maybe more. Yes, about approximately 3 months, I think.
And you say you met Lieutenant Tolek, or at least someone who looks remarkably like him, 3 to 4 weeks ago in the Gamma Quadrant?
I think so. It's my. It may not have been that. It may have been months ago. It's my perception of time has been. I think
is it usual for your ship to stop at ports in the Gamma Quadrant? How would you have met him?
I don't know. It's just, I know I've met. And he's pointing to Turk. I know I've met you before, but at the same time, I know I haven't.
We might want to have the counselor take a look.
Yes.
Council arrives a few minutes later, and you can see he's obviously Tira's probably briefed him or something. And it's like, is this the person you're talking about? And he's looking around and saying, who's in charge? Who's in? Oh my. Who's,
That would be me, Davin says from up.
Okay.
I think, to be honest, by this point, Davin is probably actually standing on his own.
Yeah, okay. It's like, oh, Davin, oh yes, I did hear you got promoted. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yes, is this the patient?
Yes. Now, as a matter of fact, I do have more questions I would like to ask him, but perhaps it would be best if you saw him first.
Of course. I'll. What would you? How if you? And he sort of leans in, like, what sort of scan do you want me to do? It's what do you want me to look for?
Well, I think perhaps Lieutenant Hollock would be better suited to answer.
Of course, yes. Ask the medical expert, of course. And as he walks out, he's like, and you see this Bates, like, he's genuinely happy to see you lot. It's it's he's read the reports about the incidences you lot get up to, and he's actually very surprised that not more of you have come along for therapy, with the exception of the Vulcan, of course. He's probably the only one who'll be very surprised if you turned up, but everyone else is very surprised that they haven't. So he's speaking to you, like, so, and he's speaking to you telepathically. It's very, very gentle. It's a very nice feeling, because it's although Betazoids are very emotional people, communicating telepathically with a Vulcan for them is actually quite easy. So it's because obviously Vulcans are naturally telepaths, so it's much easier. Yeah. And you get in your mind, what's happened? What do they need me to look for?
And he will reply telepathically. They have been attacked by psionic weaponry. There may be damaged or suppressed memories that might be very useful.
Of course. I will be gentle. Thank you. And you feel his presence withdraw from your mind, and he immediately smiles. It's like, hello, to the person sitting there, and you can see there's a brief pause, and whilst you can't pick up exactly what's being said, Todd, you can tell that there's something going on in the telepathic ether, for want of a better, but you can tell that there's communication going on. And as you stand there, you see that there's okay. Oh, yes, that was a nasty battle, wasn't it? Okay, let's go back a bit further, shall we? And you seem concentrated. Like, okay. Yes, that's when you met this gentleman here. Okay, right. He's verbalising what he's thinking to sort of make things easier for you. Let's go back even further, shall we? And he's saying this to you. When do you want me to go back to? How far back, or just see what there is?
What do you remember about your parents?
Okay. Right. Let's see this. What's this? And he immediately recoils. It's like,
Are you okay?
What have they done to him? That was close. Almost. They booby-trapped his mind.
How is such a thing possible?
I don't know. There was something there, something dark, something evil, but not of his. It was put there. It was. And he just looks up at Tolic. As he says that, he just looks up at Tolic. I can see why he's so afraid of you.
I have encountered this reaction before.
I think I can understand why. There's
I
a problem.
theories. Might you elaborate? And I just think into his mind confidentially. I do believe we are operating under the assumption that we have mirror universe doppelgangers operating for the Bendrali.
Despite his self-control, as soon as you say mirror universe, and without even realizing he says this out loud, they're real.
They are.
That would explain what I saw in there. It was flashes. It was brief, but it was horrible. There was others. There were other captains. They were doing something to them. They've captured. It's fading. It's who whatever they did to this poor fellow. It was the work of an expert.
Is this all still telepathic?
Yes.
We are.
Yeah, it was that initial. They're real was said out loud, but the rest of this is being said telepathic. I imagine that you two have just seen him like they're just looking at each other, going,
"Yeah,"
and you have no idea what's being said.
Well, then, I'm relying on Tolek to report back later.
But he then just stops and he's like, "We must resume normal conversation. The rest must know about this. We have a problem. There are, from what I picked up in this poor fellow's mind, there are compromised individuals in Starfleet.
That was my fear.
But the problem is, I don't know how many. But there's more than there's a lot of them.
Did you see any? Did you see faces?
I saw only one. Apart from this fellow, there was a Vulcan giving orders.
Okay, I'm gonna go to a terminal.
Yep.
And I'm gonna pull up a certain Vulcan admiral's file.
Yes, that was her. That was the one. She was giving him orders. I tried to say read what the orders were, but that was when I detected what in essence is the mental booby trap.
Averin turns to Tolek, raises his eyebrow, and goes, "Fascinating."
Yeah, this is. It's like,
it appears to involve a certain poetic justice.
So I've just
Wasn't fair.
I've just thought what the next plot's going to be. I imagine that this is going to be the point where the episode would end, zooming in on the Admiral's face. To be continued.
I was sort of hoping that my line would be.
Yes, this is like the dramatic.
Sorry.
Sort of thing. I wish it could be longer, but my back is really, and my kidneys are really starting to give me jips now. So I'm gonna. Does anybody want to have to do any sort of? Could it be like between episodes? Although it's going to be again sort of following on from it. It's not going to be immediate. It's going to be like a day or so.
Davrin would like a conversation with Captain Prua, but we could just do that at the beginning of next time if you're uncomfortable.
That's fine. Yeah. I imagine that although officially Wacom isn't part of the crew, he is pretty much, because he's one of the survivors. He's pretty much been temporarily stationed on Deep Space Nine at the moment. He's been given quarters easy enough. So it's you're healthy. You can help out until we decide what's going to happen with you.
Well, actually, he's part of why I need to talk to the captain.
Okay, that's fine. At the moment, he is temporarily stationed on Deep Space Nine. I mean, obviously, the Damocles can call on any officer who is on the station if they need to, but as technically his ship's been destroyed, he needs to wait until it's decided what happens to him, sort of thing.
And he's currently made drunk by two members of the Damocles already.
Yeah, Ricky and Tira are basically getting you absolutely shit-faced in quarks right now. Or at least trying to, if you want to go along with it.
Woo!
Yeah, it's a few of the Dabo girls are giving you some latinum to start your winnings off and stuff like that. But there's a Morn is beckoning you over to like go and chat with him, things like that. I mean, you're made to feel welcome, but at the same point, nobody knows officially what's happening to your character yet. So they're being polite, but they're not being too forthcoming.
Exactly, it's not like a party drink, it's more like to the fallen drinking
Yeah, it's that sort
going
of
on.
Yeah, because and as the evening goes on, more who have been cleared from the medical bay and the infirmary do actually come along and start joining you to raise a glass. So, what's anybody else do? So, Davrin's speaking to Thingy next week, and you two are getting absolutely bongoed. What's Tonic up to?
That's an excellent question.
Maybe working on his little pet project?
That as well. And he is gonna contact his family to see if he can get any more details on the Admiral on the down low.
Because every world can now see each other.
Well, his parents are not unimportant.
Yeah. I can't remember. Did we say that because your Tolik's mum was basically a high-ranking scientist / botanist, wasn't she?
They are both high-ranking scientists on Vulcan. Yeah.
Yeah. So they probably have at least a little bit of political clout to it. Yeah. If they don't know themselves, they might know somebody who.
Somebody. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, and so that's easy enough done. It's parents don't even ask why. It's just like acknowledge. We will get right on it. Beep. Curt, to the point, but not rude.
I mean, that's just loving Vulcan family stuff.
Actually, for Vulcans, that is actually quite nice. It's like that was a pleasant conversation. It was quick. It was to the point. There was no bullshitting. Good day.
Yeah.
Boom. And that was it.
They did not even require.
I enjoyed our exchange of logic.
Yes.
So,
yeah.
May your day be pleasant.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's basically say we're going to end it for the night because I need to go and take some painkillers.
Yeah.
Because this is getting quite uncomfortable. We'll be back, obviously, fingers crossed, in a couple of weeks with part 2 of this one. And for anybody who hasn't figured it out, the episode name was, in Latin, It's a Trap. Thank you.
Golf clap.
Thank you.
Golf clap.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I'm actually very surprised that nobody picked up on that. It was. I actually thought, should I have the Admiral called Akbar? No, that'd be too on the nose. But anyway, I'm going to say end the stream now, and thank you very much. I will be starting my new Civilization 5 playthrough on Monday, and I've got the DLC for that ridiculously dirt cheap, so I'm going to be playing that. It's going to be fun. I mean, I literally got it for £7. It was fun. Thank you for that link, Brian. And then the week after that, I will be returning to Final Fantasy XIV. But in the meantime, I'm going to bid you all good night and hope you have a great weekend.
Live long and prosper.
Bye.
See ya.
Wait a second. End it. Bump. Yeah, the ship's mascot. And